Let me tell you something that is going to make every single Drew McIntyre fan absolutely furious right now. Nick Aldis, the SmackDown general manager, just looked the entire WWE universe dead in the eyes, smirked that smirk of his, and handed Jacob Fatu the one thing that could destroy Drew McIntyre's entire Wrestlemania destiny. And not only did he do it, he did it with confidence. Like he knew exactly what kind of chaos he was lighting on fire. This is not a rumor. This is not a leak from some anonymous source hiding behind a burner account. This is official. Nick Aldis has made the match. Jacob Fatu vs. Drew McIntyre. WrestleMania 42. And if you think you know how this story ends, I promise you, you don't. Drop a comment right now. Tell me whose side are you on? Because after what I'm about to break down for you, you might switch sides before this video is over. Let's go. Segment 1. Set the scene. Let's rewind just a little bit, because context matters here and I don't want anyone sleeping on how significant this announcement actually is. Drew McIntyre has been one of the most compelling figures in WWE for years now. This is a man who got released, who rebuilt himself from the ground up in the independent circuit, who came back to WWE and became a two-time world champion. He main event WrestleMania during a global pandemic, in an empty arena, and still managed to make history feel electric. The Scottish Warrior has earned his spot at the top of the card. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can take that away from him. But here's the problem. Drew McIntyre doesn't just want a WrestleMania moment. Drew McIntyre wants to prove something. He wants to prove that he belongs not just in the conversation, but at the throne. He wants to be undisputed. He wants to be unquestioned. And then Jacob Fatu happened. Jacob Fatu, the newest, most terrifying monster to step foot in a WWE ring in years, didn't just arrive. He erupted. This man debuted like a wrecking ball that learned how to do a moonsault. 6 feet, 270-something pounds of absolute carnage, and he moves like a cruiserweight. He doesn't just beat people. He destroys them. He leaves them looking like they made a wrong turn into the wrong part of town. The bloodline connection. The family legacy. The raw, unpolished, barely contained violence that Jacob Fatu carries with him every single time he steps through that curtain. This man is something different. This man is something special. And now, Nick Aldis has decided officially, on the record, that WrestleMania 42 is where these two worlds collide. Segment 2. Nick Aldis and the decision. Now let's talk about Nick Aldis for a second, because I think he doesn't get enough credit for how calculated he actually is. People want to write Nick Aldis off as just an authority figure. Just a suit. Just someone who books matches and gets interrupted on SmackDown. But Aldis is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. This man was a world champion. This man understands psychology, storytelling, and more importantly, he understands how to make SmackDown must-see television. When Nick Aldis made this match official, it wasn't just an administrative decision. It was a statement. It was him planting a flag and saying this is what SmackDown stands for in 2025 and beyond. Big matches. Big moments. Collision courses that nobody can look away from. Think about the optics here. You have Drew McIntyre, the polished, battle-hardened, technically gifted warrior, against Jacob Fatu, the untamed, explosive, generational talent who operates on pure instinct and control fury. This isn't just a wrestling match. This is a war of two completely different wrestling philosophies. Power versus precision. Rage versus strategy. And WrestleMania 42 is the stage that deserves exactly this kind of clash. Aldis didn't just book a match. He lit the fuse on what could be the most physical, most emotionally charged, most absolutely brutal SmackDown Championship encounter in WrestleMania history. And I for one am here for every single second of it. Segment 3. The case for Jacob Fatu. Let me make the case for Jacob Fatu, because I want you to understand just how dangerous this man is going into the biggest show of the year. First, the family. You cannot talk about Jacob Fatu without talking about the Anoa'i family. You cannot separate the man from the bloodline that produced Ricochet, the Usos, Roman Reigns, and Solo Sikoa. This family bleeds professional wrestling. This family doesn't just participate in this business, they define it, generation after generation. And Jacob Fatu is the latest and some would argue the most physically terrifying member of the dynasty to step into the spotlight. But here's what separates Fatu from simply being another name in a famous family. He's not riding on legacy. He's not coasting on the family name. He is creating his own legacy in real time, with his bare hands, right in front of our eyes. Watch his in-ring work. Watch the way he absorbs punishment like it means nothing. Watch the way his eyes go dark when a match shifts into high gear. Jacob Fatu doesn't just compete, he takes over. He consumes the oxygen in the room. He makes everyone else in the arena forget that anyone else exists. Going into WrestleMania 42, Fatu will walk in with momentum. He will walk in with the crowd's attention. He will walk in with the kind of aura that only a handful of WWE superstars have ever possessed. And if Drew McIntyre underestimates him even for 1 second, it will be the last mistake he makes on the grandest stage of them all. segment for the case for Drew McIntyre. But let me flip it. Because Drew McIntyre is not someone you sleep on, ever. Under any circumstances, Drew McIntyre has been to the mountain. He knows what it takes. He has had his heart ripped out on the biggest stages in WWE history. We all remember the Wrestlemania moments that didn't go his way, the championship reigns that ended too soon, the rivalries that left him wanting more, and every single time, he came back harder. That's the thing about Drew McIntyre that people underestimate. He is not just physically gifted, he is mentally indestructible. You can knock this man down, embarrass him, take everything from him, and he will find a way to rebuild, refocus, and come back swinging with that Claymore kick aimed right at your skull. Drew McIntyre against Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania 42 is not a mismatch. This is not a case of the unstoppable force meeting an immovable object and having a predictable outcome. This is two absolute apex predators stepping into the same jungle for the first time, and only one of them is walking out with their head held high. Drew knows the WrestleMania stage. He's been there. He's performed there. He's thrived there. And that experience, that knowledge of what it takes to perform at the highest level when the pressure is at its absolute peak, could be the difference maker on the night. Don't count out the Scottish Warrior. Not now. Not ever. Segment 5: What this match means for WWE. Now let's zoom out, because this match is bigger than just two superstars. This match means something for the direction of WWE as a whole. We are in an era where WWE has reclaimed its position as the undisputed leader of sports entertainment on a global scale. Premium live events are selling out faster than ever. Television ratings are holding strong. The product top to bottom is genuinely must-see week after week. And WrestleMania 42 has the potential to be the most stacked card in WrestleMania history. When you have a match like Fatu vs. McIntyre sitting on that card, you are sending a message to the entire wrestling world that SmackDown is not playing around. That the blue brand has stars, has stories, and has the firepower to deliver the kind of moments that people talk about for decades. Nick Aldis making this match official is WWE planting their flag and saying this is what we're about. Uncompromising, hard-hitting, emotionally invested professional wrestling at the highest possible level. And the fans? The fans are going to show up. They are going to be loud. They are going to be electric. Because both men have earned passionate followings. Both men have supporters who will ride or die. And when Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre stand across from each other in the ring at WrestleMania 42, that atmosphere is going to be something that chills you right to the bone. Segment 6: Predictions and the burning question. So now we get to the part that I know you've been waiting for. Predictions. Who wins? Here's my honest take, and I want your honest take in the comments below, so start typing right now while I finish this thought. Jacob Fatu is the future. There is absolutely no question about that. The upside on this man is limitless. The ceiling hasn't even been found yet. If WWE is smart, and they have been smart lately, they are going to protect Jacob Fatu, build him methodically, and eventually have him standing at the absolute top of the mountain with gold around his waist for a long time. But WrestleMania 42 might be too soon for the coronation. Drew McIntyre, on the other hand, has unfinished business. This is a man who deserves one more major WrestleMania payoff. One more moment where the crowd goes absolutely insane, where the confetti falls, where the pyro goes off, and where Drew McIntyre stands tall on the grandest stage of them all, undisputed, undefeated, and undeniable. My prediction? Drew McIntyre wins. But it will not be clean. It will not be easy. It will be a war that goes 25, maybe 30 minutes, and Jacob Fatu will push through to places he has never been pushed before. But in the end, the Scottish Warrior's experience on that stage, his familiarity with the pressure, his ability to dig deep when it matters most gives him the edge. That said, I could be dead wrong. And honestly, I kind of want to be wrong. Because Jacob Fatu winning at WrestleMania 42 would also be one of the most electric moments in recent memory. This is one of those matches that you don't get very often. Two completely different superstars, two completely different styles, two completely different stories colliding at the one event that matters more than any other event on the planet. Nick Aldis has done his job. He's made the match. Now it's up to Fatu and McIntyre to deliver, and based on everything we know about both men, there is zero doubt in my mind that they will. So I'm asking you right now, who are you picking? Jacob Fatu or Drew McIntyre? Drop it in the comments. Tell me why. Let's have this debate right here on Ring Rumble 1, because this is exactly the kind of conversation that makes being a wrestling fan so special. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We do this every week. Hot takes, bold predictions, and zero sugarcoating. We tell it like it is, and we back it up. If you enjoyed this video, share it. Send it to that one wrestling fan in your life who needs to know about this match. Let's get this conversation going. And until next time, stay rowdy, stay passionate, and never stop watching.